Look at the sheer density of this port infrastructure. For much of the invasion, Crimea functioned as the central nervous system for the Russian military. It serves as the primary logistics hub for the Black Sea Fleet and currently houses an estimated 150,000 occupying troops. This map shows why a traditional recapture is so difficult. Geography forces any advancing army through narrow land bridges, natural choke points where Russian artillery and airstrikes can be concentrated with lethal precision. Instead of a frontal assault, Ukraine has prioritized isolation. By repeatedly striking the Kerch Bridge, they demonstrated that the only physical link between the peninsula and the Russian mainland is highly vulnerable. On April 19th, this isolation campaign reached a new phase. A secretive unit known as the Ghosts launched a coordinated overnight drone operation targeting the very foundations of Russia's Crimean infrastructure. This operation wasn't a standard raid. It was the application of a strategy designed to weaken a heavily fortified position by stripping away the tools required to defend it. The first phase involved neutralizing Russia's ability to move heavy equipment. Drones targeted two landing ships, the Yamal and the Nikolai Filchenkov. These vessels are used to ferry hundreds of tons of cargo and soldiers between Crimea and the occupied mainland. The second phase targeted Russia's awareness. This is a Podlet K-1, a $5 million early warning radar system that was destroyed in a single strike. This radar is designed to track 200 high-speed targets simultaneously. However, it was neutralized by the same type of low-altitude drones it was built to detect, leaving a significant gap in the peninsula's air defense umbrella. With the radar blinded, Ukraine struck the energy supply. Double-top strikes hit the Tuapse export hub and the Gvardeyske oil depot, triggering massive fires at some of the region's most important processing facilities. This chart shows the economic impact. These fires contribute to a loss of approximately $100 million in daily oil revenue, a $3 billion monthly shortfall that strains the Kremlin's ability to fund and fuel its frontline operations. In less than 24 hours, the strikes systematically degraded Russia's transport capacity, its early warning systems, and its economic output. These attacks are designed to trap Russian command in a persistent military dilemma. If Russia chooses to pull advanced air defenses away from the front lines to protect the infrastructure in Crimea, they create a hole in their northern defenses. That move leaves Russian soldiers on the mainland vulnerable to Ukrainian airstrikes and missile fire. But if they keep those defenses on the mainland to hold the line, Crimea's ports and refineries remain exposed. In this scenario, billion-dollar military assets and essential fuel supplies continue to burn as Ukrainian drones exploit the lack of local coverage. We are already seeing the results of this gap. Ukrainian drones are now bypassing Crimean defenses entirely to strike targets deeper inside the Russian mainland. The strategy aims to create a scenario where any decision to protect one vital target likely results in the loss of another. This attrition leaves the 150,000 soldiers in Crimea in a difficult position. They are stationed to defend against a conventional ground defensive that Ukraine is currently bypassing in favor of long-range strikes. This shift has changed the perception of the peninsula. While it was once seen as a safe haven, there are now reports of senior officers and their families attempting to leave Crimea as the strikes intensify. To prevent a wider exodus, Russian authorities have reportedly canceled leave for regular soldiers and are now looking toward local mobilization to fill the gaps in their ranks. Kirilo Budanov, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, has indicated that these strikes are intended to show that Ukraine maintains significant leverage, regardless of the situation on the ground. The impact on the Black Sea Fleet is the clearest evidence of this pressure. Much of the fleet has been forced to relocate to ports further east, effectively diminishing its influence in the region. Ukraine's current campaign is built on the theory that a territory can be made untenable through methodical attrition. By eroding its logistics, destroying key defenses, and draining its economic value, they aim to make the cost of occupation higher than the Kremlin is willing to pay.